This is a clip from one of our most recent episodes. For full episodes and more, please check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Stitcher, and YourVibesPodcast.com. This episode is brought to you by The Station. The Station is downtown Dickson's premier event venue. Located inside historic Mulberry Mill, The Station is a perfect space for a wedding or reception, birthday party or baby shower, conference or class, photo or video shoot, and even a live music performance. Just a quick 45-minute commute from Nashville, Clarksville, and Columbia, the station provides your guests with a classy and convenient experience in the heart of downtown Dickson's up-and-coming environment. To book your next event, please contact Andy Truman at 336-693-4311 or email her at events@mulberrymilldixon.com. It makes my heart happy when people do what they love.
Yeah.
And I think we're seeing a huge movement in that right now with kind of the wild and crazy world we're living in as far as, people leaving kind of the office scene and working from home.
Yeah.
Or whatever kind of mandates they may put into place or not, or just people kind of in general getting a little tired of the 9 to 5.
Yeah. Well, and even transitioning to working from home, my office was in Brentwood, so that saved me 2 hours a day already just by not having to drive to work, where I could pick up doing other stuff, whether it be laundry or pasta or whatever.
Those 2 hours.
It was like
huge.
2 hours were just like so much more time.
Yep.
Just not going there every day. Yeah. So that alone, I think, leaves people with more time. Whereas before it'd be like, oh, you get home from work, you got to make your dinner, and then it's just like you got to go to bed. There was no time. Whereas now I feel like if you're working from home, even if you're still that 9 to 5 schedule,
sure,
you're still saving time, not having to go back and forth and all that kind of thing.
You're within the general area of where you can get other stuff done as well too, and it saves you a lot of just mental anguish in general. I had a job in Nashville when I was living in Dickson. It was actually in Hundred Oaks, but it was like hour to work every day, hour back home, both during rush hour, and you're just sitting there wanting to beat your head against the steering wheel and just scream. I did a couple times, like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
So you make a change. And a lot of people, just like you, there's a mass exodus from kind of the city life almost. I mean, even, California, New York, places like that, but obviously Nashville as well too. Maybe it's just some of the kind of the middle big ones kind of.
Yeah, I mean, the towns that I grew up in and then went to college were bigger than Dickson, but not huge.
Sure.
And then of course you get out of college and you're like, I'm gonna go live in a city. This is gonna be great. And then you live there for a while and it's just a lot.
It's so much to deal
all
with.
The time.
I was when did I go there last? Oh, I had to go buy a bunch of equipment for my business I started, at Guitar Center in Hundred Oaks.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be shipped that day, that morning. They said it was on the way. It'll be here by like 11 o'clock. So I showed up at like 10:30 and kind of was getting around, get everything organized. Well, they were like, it's not here. So I went to grab some lunch, called them, it wasn't there. I ended up having to spend the entire day in Nashville.
Yeah.
I was driving around, almost had a panic attack. I haven't driven around in Nashville in a long time. Like we'll maybe go, like me and Anna Claire's hideout is Jonathan's, or we'll go to Blue Moon over there off Robertson, right on the water. Yeah, that's such a great spot. We'll go there, maybe a place in Bellevue, and on a special night we may go into downtown, but neither one of us like at all, because you got to pay to park, then you got to get an Uber somewhere.
We went to Greenville, South Carolina just for like a long weekend in June, and we pulled into this parking garage and it was like $7 per day, and we were like, what? We could stay here for a week.
I camp out in my car. This is great.
And we were like, oh my gosh, it's like $7 every 30 minutes in Nashville.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
It's awful.
Terrible. And there's those bird scooters driving around everywhere, and there's people with dogs and people being real fit and running around. Like, I'm just not used to having my head on a swivel driving around Dickson.
It is all the time.
Yeah, people of all ages, kids just running around, jumping out in the middle of the street, construction going on everywhere.
Yes.
as soon as I got out of Dickson County, I felt like a cross was lifted off my shoulder. I got my equipment that evening, so I was real happy about that. But I got back into Dickson, and I was talking to some other people the other day too that, whenever they travel out of town, like, it's great, but like as soon as you kind of cross that Dickson County line, you're like, all right, I'm home. Yeah. And it's so comfortable.
I just feel like Burns is a little bit further out, but we're like 10 minutes from Kroger or Walmart or wherever you need to go in downtown. It's not hard at all. But when you drive to our house, people are like, you live in the middle of nowhere. Sure. Like, there's nothing out here, which is kind of the point.
Right, exactly.
But then, like, it's just hard there's that, like, pocket in between basically Bellevue and Dickson where there's nothing.
Not a bit.
I mean, there's no restaurant. There's nothing. So I feel like you've got to make your jump. If you're going to go to Dickson, like, go ahead. I mean, we love it. I'll never go back to Bellevue or Nashville.
Yeah, at all.
It's just too much.
No.
Way too much.
Yeah, and the void of, Bellevue and then Kingston Springs and Fairview is kind of what you've got. And Fairview, I like Fairview, and I don't know, with it being in Williamson County, I don't know why it isn't more developed than what it is, I mean, it just got so much potential.
It's easy to get to.
So easy.
Yeah.
So easy to get to. I mean, you've got an 840 exit right there, too, so, I mean, you can kind of jump from even Murfreesboro, really. I mean, it's just easy to kind of dump off into Fairview and Tawam. I mean, even grow up in Bellevue my whole life, like, I've always wondered, okay, this is Williamson County. Like, I feel like Williamson County is supposed to have the bouginess. It may not be real clustered and close, but, like, it's supposed to be a bunch of bouginess there. So that's one of the things, like, if you live in Fairview, you're paying Williamson County taxes.
Yes.
But you don't have the amenities that, the Franklins or Spring Hills or anything like that does.
Yeah. We actually looked at a couple houses in Fairview when we were, like, leaving Nashville. And, I mean, luckily we didn't, win any of them or choose any of them. But, I would agree.
It's a little more inconvenient than Dickson almost. Yeah, I mean, because you've got to go all the way into Bellevue where there really is nothing. I mean, it's just dark roads, too, to get anything done. Kingston Springs, nothing's going to happen there. I mean, the topography there is terrible for more commercial development, and all the farms are bought up by super rich people, and downtown areas got its own little niche, Sky King pizzas, the bee's knees. It's so good. They could use a couple more things, but I don't think people there really care. I think they're just there to hide out for the most part.
And I feel like their downtown doesn't have opportunity for growth. Like in Dickson, there are so many side streets that are ready to go. Yep. Like 100%.
They're pinched off at the Harpeth River right there, so you can only go so far down there. And they've thrown a bunch of houses up. They could have expanded kind of behind there, but they decided to throw all those houses up and I guess squander that. But so next thing you've got is Dickson, and there's some real potential. The biggest issue in my mind right now that we have is internet,
Ours goes out all the time.
It's so bad. Like, and I hate dealing with Comcast to the point where I just gave them the finger. I was like, all I want is your internet. I don't want your TV. Yeah. I've got Amazon and Spotify, but it's just a big complaint because there's a lot of opportunity for kind of larger businesses to come here and the work from home environment as well too. People want some land, but hell, you go 5 minutes outside of downtown, down 48, and you don't have internet. Like that's pretty silly. So I know they're really trying to make some strides towards broadband at the moment, but not too terribly sure what the red tape behind that one is. But I think it would. I say it every episode. I hope they hear me over there. I had Elizabeth Coons on, who's kind of the assistant to the director over there, and she was telling us some things about just how big the demand is, and I think they've got all the paperwork in place. Okay, I'm pretty sure it just needs to kind of be pushed through a little bit. So, because I mean, hell, who knows? I mean, you have some kind of shutdown like you did last year. Yeah. That's so unfortunate for those kids. I mean, talking about kids, like you're talking. You've got kids that are being raised by their grandma in a trailer, and what do you expect them to do? Take this laptop and do something with it out in the middle of nowhere? Yeah, right.
I know. It's hard enough even with like regular internet to teach from home or to assist with homework and, working from home and school from home. And now I can't remember last year if they did it. I think they did it this way, but now they just like stream all their classes live. Yeah. And so you have to like log in at class time and like be ready to view. And that was a lot for me because when I was a kid, if you were sick or whatever, you were just like not at school like that. That was just the end of it. Like there was nothing to do.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off at that point. Yeah.
It was just like chicken soup in front of the TV. You were done. But now it's like, okay, here's your entire day planned out. And if there were no internet or if we didn't have internet,
sure,
I don't know what you do. Like, I don't know how
you'd
that
be
works.
behind, you know, and you're talking working from home is one thing because as an adult, you've got the flexibility to kind of get your stuff done, and then you've got time to do things in between. But trying to learn from home, you've got to be there. You've got to be sitting right there, and there's all the distractions going on, and you're taking away the personal relationship of it. You know, I'm sure there was a lot less questions asked and a lot more confusion.
Or I got the questions.
Right? Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't know the answer.
Do you know Common Core math?
Right.
Because I sure as heck don't.
I don't. They're like, but didn't you go to school? I'm like, yes, but not this way.
This is so different than what we had
write
to
down
do.
your question, and when you get back to school, you can ask your question.
Yeah.
Because I don't know the answer.
Wow. So how does your niece like Dickson County High School?
She loves it.
That's good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kids over there.
A lot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's quite a mix too. I think my cousin went there. I didn't go there, but I've heard great things. Joey Hawley's good as well too. So I think Dickson's got some really good schools. I really hope at some point Dickson gets to the point to where we can have a private school of some, a private high school of some sorts. Just the population growth enough. I think it's really important to kind of at least have that option for some people on some things. Just it's so different the way that it's learned and kind of how things go. And I think in that fashion as well too, you would suck a lot of people out of Bellevue and the Nashville area to come buy a farm out here just because their kids can go to a private high school. I totally agree. Kind of thing.
She did 8th grade at Burns Middle School and then is now at Dickson County. Burns Middle School is great.
The new one?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I have not been in there yet. It looks so beautiful.
We couldn't go in because it was like during COVID.
Absolutely.
So I didn't go in. But she loved it. Her teachers were great.
That's so good.
It was awesome.
Good. Because I know there's a lot of controversy behind building that thing in the first place. And I'm glad they bit the bullet and did it. I mean, Dickson, you got to prepare, you know, kind of for what the growth is. And I really pray Burns kind of decides to bite the bullet on a lot of things. And there's a couple little changes that they could make that would really just put them on the map. I mean, I can see Burns being, you know, like a Leapers Fork type area. There's a real big potential for that. I mean, 'cause you've got 96, like I said, that just runs all the way to Fairview. And that's the main vein right there. You can develop some
96
things over there.
is so busy. I mean, anytime that you come out of like a cross street to turn left, I mean, you're waiting like 2 or 3 minutes.
Yep.
Which is great. I mean, annoying when you're in the car, but great if you had businesses along 96.
Yep. And they put that cut through right there as well too. So I mean, they're putting money in for some infrastructure as well. But and I think Morgan said something about a big development that's going to go on there. Yeah.
Yeah. Near like the ballpark.
Yeah.
Thanks again to the station for sponsoring this episode. If you are looking to book your next wedding or reception, baby shower or birthday party, conference or class, photo or video shoot, or even a live music performance, please reach out to Andy Truman at 336-693-4311 or shoot her an email at events@mulberrymilldixon.com. If you're interested in sponsoring an episode, please reach out to me directly via email at yourvibespodcast@gmail.com. Thanks again for listening, and always remember, stay vibey, my friends.